Welcome back everyone to Join the League season number 5, Erudite versus Vincitore in this 2-game series. Well, Erudite, they had an extremely just massive performance in game number 1, and with that, they also deserve a silencer respect ban from Vincitore here. So we're gonna have to see if IV can finally get their first win in this just season, because so far 0-9, not an impressive record at all. But of course, we are HeflaTV, I'm Coucher. Once again, I'm going to be joined by Danny. Are we gonna see their first win this game?
I actually hope so. As much as a lot of people like to say that they don't like those one-to-one series, I feel like it's just kind of nice to keep everyone's morale up, especially if you can actually win a game after you've had one taken off you. Normally in those 2-0 series, you don't feel too good. You're probably thinking, oh, we probably played bad, or you might get, like you said in the previous cast, you actually said that sometimes there could be conflict within the teams, and I actually feel like it's a common thing, especially when you are losing those series like those best of two series. It's uh, it's just yuck. Best way to put it. I think that's the best word to describe it. It's just horrible. But the silences respect ban here from Vincitore. I think they've learnt their lesson. They don't want to deal with that snowbally silencer anymore. So Erudite, what do you think they might go for this game? Do you think they might go for the same draft just because it worked last game, or do you think like they're going to go for something a little bit different? I think it is going to be a different draft.
Probably so, especially since Silencer is out of the equation, so they're gonna have to take another approach how to go into team fights. And of course, not being able to go for the Silencer, they themselves ban out the Tidehunter just to make sure that Ravage won't be an issue for them. Also now a Brewmaster banned out, but it's by IV themselves. So maybe, unless Axe is banned now, we might see an Axe in the first phase possibly, although I have to say Axe is really feels like that hero is suddenly forgotten already.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams they know how to actually deal with the accent, like they know how to deal with the axe now. Axe he has a lot of issues with kiting, so if you have those lineups that can really keep him in place, just keep him slowed. Axe doesn't really do anything. The blink dagger helps him out that helps him out immensely, but I want to say Axe doesn't scale that well into the late game, but he doesn't do too badly. What do you think about Axe in the late game?
Depending on the item build, you can the best initiation wise, you're still gonna be great just because Berserker's Call lasts for such a long time. So I think even in late game Axe isn't all that weak, to be honest, and it cannot be underestimated that even calling Blade onto a creep, for example, in the middle of a team fight can make a huge difference in you being able to either disengage or just run somebody down with the movement speed buff that you get from that. So Axe, used correctly, can be an asset in the late game as well. Yes, maybe not the best hero to do that, but I definitely wouldn't count him out even in the later stages.
Yeah, there are actually a couple of heroes that have managed to bypass the banning phase. So you mentioned Axe. First pick here from El Vincitore. There is Juggernaut and there is Troll Warlord that is still available. So we might see either of those heroes picked up here, or they might be going through that second phases of bans. They are high priority bans, and they're very, very strong heroes too. Troll Warlord and Juggernaut could be picked up here from Erudite, but might be a little bit too greedy. And ooh, we're gonna get Negroverse.
So already having a double heal, I wouldn't completely just count out the possibility of an IO now to follow up in the second phase, just because IO tether into the Death Pulse plus the Voodoo Restoration, so much healing going through with that one. Maybe a Bristleback somewhere along the way as well, tank up even a little bit more, have a solid frontliner for themselves. As for Ivy, picking up a Shadow Demon, okay, so we're already seeing 4 heroes that did not come out in the first game. Axe, I do believe, was banned in the first phase. Witch Doctor, not too sure if he was banned or not, but Ivy, is this gonna be a Mirana to follow up the Shadow Demon, or are Erudite gonna make sure that the Mirana will get banned out?
Well, typically, if you see the Shadow Demon pick up, a lot of the times he works as a hero to set up for a stun. So you said there was a Mirana. There could actually be a Lena. We don't normally see Lena anymore, though. She's very squishy. She only provides one stun. She has a great ultimate, though, but if you want to have a hero with high burst potential, you'd rather pick up the Lion. But he was banned for Erudite. So we may see a Lena. We could see a Leshrac, I suppose. Very old school hero. We don't see him that much anymore. I think the only team I know that runs him is CSW.
I've seen a couple of Lenas, but it's also a thing that CIS, the Russian teams, run. Maybe not often, but a little bit more so than others. So it might be a possibility, Leshrac or Lena, either one of those. I would love to see that combination, to be honest, with the Shadow Demon. Which other heroes, though, can combo up with the Shadow Demon as well?
Um,
I guess if you
just trying to
really
think.
want to, you can even, like, have an Earth Spike to follow up, but timing that one is maybe a little bit tricky from the Lion or Impale from
Oh,
the
Lion's
Nyx or
already
something.
banned out.
Oh, yeah.
Lion, tier 1 ban, first phase. Lion probably thinking, oh,
Probably
not
Nyx
gonna play
Assassin
this
not the
game.
greatest hero here anyway. I mean, I guess
Actually, Nyx wouldn't be too bad. It wouldn't be too bad. I don't know. We don't normally see that Nyx anymore, but Vincitore, they're really chewing through their reserve time. They've got 8 seconds left on the clock. So with these last two picks, aside from this one that's going to be coming up very soon, they're not going to have much time at all. And actually, are they going to run out of reserve time?
well, they did manage to ban out the Queen of Pain, because otherwise, if you completely run out, there's not going to be a ban. Whereas if you pick, you're just going to have it random when the time runs out. But
Yeah.
it's pretty much halfway through the draft and already completely out of reserve time, so they're going to have to pick up the pace quite a bit. And now with Mirana banned out, it's just going to make the decision for Vincitore a little bit harder. Then again, oh, the Dazzle might come out. Disruption
You think Dazzle?
into the Shadow Wave bomb using the illusions to just get extra targets.
Oh, ah, yes, yes, yep.
Plus
That could
Dazzle Axe,
definitely
it
work
might even
as
be an
well.
aggressive tri-lane. I've seen it a couple of times, but no
Mm.
idea
Well,
if IV plan.
there are a couple of other supports that are still actually available. There is Scarith Mage. Scarith Mage works pretty well with the axe as well. You can really burst someone down with the axe setup. You could go old, yeah, not really old school, but you could go for the last patch Jakiro Ogre Magi if you want. Not the support duo, but just those heroes in general. We don't see them anymore. I'm actually pretty sad that we don't see them. The RNGesus on Ogre Magi is a very rare pickup nowadays.
It is, and well, maybe that's why the ogres that we do tend to see are like RNG gods. Maybe just ogre showing that, dudes, I'm totally a worthy pick. Just pick me, pick me. I'll RNG all day for you.
Please, please play me. But puck pickup here for Erudite. So do you think it'll be a mid puck or could it be an offlane puck and put the Necrophos mid instead? Or do teams normally run Necrophos safe
I
lane?
think Necrophos safe lane is probably the more common thing, but can go into the mid lane as well if need be. Now though, seeing a Tinker on IV's lineup, Puck might be a slightly better matchup up against Tinker just because when there's like heat-seeking missiles coming out, you can phase shift them out if need be. You can illusory orb away yourself from the March of the Machines, for example. So I'd expect the Puck to be mid lane, but then again, they can pick like a third hero to go mid lane, send the Puck off lane, and have Necrophos still in the safe lane. Storm Spirit is still available if you want to go for that one. Definitely a great hero to deal with Tinker in general, just because Tinker otherwise, you like blink into the trees, spam your spells from there. But the more mobile heroes Erudite will pick, the easier it will be to deal with Tinker, but I guess Clockwork offlane might be a thing. Whoa, Erudite go? Warlock. I guess even more heals.
Corlock. I hope this is a Corlock. I love watching Corlock. Very fun hero. But the problem is if he gets shut down early, it's very hard for him to actually come back in terms of farm. Although I'm a little bit worried if it is a Corlock as well, because Axe can really chew through the Golem's HP. Oh, we're getting a Zeus. El Vincentore.
These
They're going for a
lineups.
semi-global actually here for El Vincentore.
Well, to be fair, if anybody gets caught with a Soul Catcher while a Tinker and Zeus are close by, that hero's just straight out not gonna survive. It's not like Erudite heroes are particularly tanky at the moment. So one disable might be the end of really anybody here. Even with them having the heals just might not start or have the time to get into effect. Voodoo Restoration, it just heal over time. Death Pulse has a little bit of a travel time as well, and it's not that strong of a heal to be honest. And also Shadow Word, heal over time. So with the burst of IV, they might just be able to go through all the heal, but if Erudite, if they just get a decent enough laning phase for them, they might just ball out as 5 and start pushing like that. But then again, up against Tinker, just going as 5, even then pushing is going to be hard.
Yeah, Erudite really needs a frontliner at this point. They've essentially got 3 cores and a support. So I don't know. I'm a little bit confused with Erudite's lineup. It can work out, but they're running a 4 intelligence hero lineup at this point. They need another support unless this Warlock is going to be a support Warlock, which I don't like support Warlock. I don't know. It's I just feel like Warlock really needs levels, he really needs items to really become effective because essentially Warlock relies on a lot of the damage from the golems, and actually the really annoying thing about him is actually the upheaval and fatal bonds. And Erudite, if you look at their heroes, they do have quite a bit of burst. They have the Witch Doctor with the Death Ward, they've got the Necrophise Reaper's Scythe, they have the Puck with his own burst as well. So I can see a lot of the damage being bounced around between these heroes, and well, support Spirit Breaker as their front liner. I guess that's what they're gonna have to go with.
It is definitely nice in just trying to catch out the Tinker as often as you can. Just start the charge on him, know where he is at all times almost. So that is nice. But Erudite, they ban out a Kanka. I mean, I haven't seen it here for so long and I would love to see it. But Ivy, in the end, do pick up the Nyx Assassin. I was thinking about the Nyx Assassin again when you said like 4 intelligence heroes, because the more intelligence you have, the more mana burn will do. And when it's maxed out, really low cooldown, does a lot of damage. You might be running a little bit low on mana, at least as a Necrophos earlier on in the game for sure. Also, Spike Carapace is pretty decent in like dealing with a charge Spirit Breaker, for example, something like that. But
It's actually going to be pretty good with the Warlock, though. It might be what they use to cancel out the upheaval if the Warlock has any damage sources going through. That might be it. I don't know. I'm just making an assumption here, but that Spike Carapace is very annoying for any AoE-based heroes.
yeah, it definitely is nice for him. Maybe he's gonna like deliberately run into a golem, pop the Spike Carapace to just stop that upheaval. Otherwise,
Yeah.
because Vincitore didn't really have good heroes to escape the upheaval, to be honest. Axe might have a blink there, but usually if you're in the upheaval, you've also taken damage from something already.
Yeah.
So Erudite, they are, I'd say, mostly teamfight based. But the thing is, how the hell, or what's their plan to push towers other than just keep the creep wave and themselves alive for a longer period of time?
It's they've gone for a quirky draft. That's something I would like to mention. Very quirky. Don't typically see these hero combinations, I suppose.
It's the same for IV, to be honest. I mean, it's really all about the Tinker late game here almost.
Yeah, I think they're putting everything into that Tinker late game,
Is it
but
like mass Dagon game? Maybe like Axe builds like a Necrobook as well, something crazy like that?
I don't think I don't think I've ever seen a Necro book on Axe. Maybe I don't watch enough Axe games,
I
but
have seen it for sure, but it was up against the Brave King. Just Axe goes in, Berserker's Call, pops the
ah,
Necrobook, drains the mana, and uses it that way. But that's been, I think, the only scenario I've seen it in.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Erudite though, I think they're banking everything on this Necrophase late game just because you don't want to underestimate that Reaper's Scythe with an axe. It's very annoying, especially if they get it on the Tinker. That's a lot of the damage source gone. Because Nyx, who is playing a support, he's only going to deal as much damage as a support Nyx is. It's not going to be their core Nyx that's going to have that Dagon 5. It's going to have pretty much luxury items at that stage. He might be lucky enough to get Dagon 1 and a Blink Dagger. So I feel
I
like
think
they're
it's a
both.
core Nyx.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. I do believe Shadow Demon and the
Oh.
Zeus are gonna be supports. First of all, it's the same players, but it's just JR. So far only has all 4 clarities. And Gigi Liao
Yeah.
is going for that earlier Null Talisman by the looks of things. Null Talisman also can easily be turned into a Dagon later, of course. So we'll see, but both teams' lineups just completely out of the ordinary, and hopefully it's gonna make for a great game.
Oh, I hope so. I'm very excited for this next game. They've
Mong might
basically
be in a
drafted
lot
a lot
of
of.
trouble though. Axe, he's pretty tanky, but is he gonna be tanky enough to withstand 4 heroes? If he gets stunned, somebody blocking from lane, nicely done. Illusioner will also connect with the help of the Paralyzing Cask. And Mong, well, nope. Berserker's Call even to get extra armor or stay alive. Labi gets himself that first blood, as also Lei will be playing the Spirit Breaker, leaving Tilixer on that core lock. As Tempus heading towards the mid lane on the puck, and last for them is going to be Kyo on the Necrophos.
Alright, so playing on the side of Vincitore, we have Mong who gave away first blood, unfortunately, playing on the axe, playing on our it's an offlane Nyx assassin, be played by Gigi Liao. In the mid lane, we currently have Fitzberg, who is a stand-in, playing on the Tinker. I think he's a stand-in. We have FYK playing on our Shadow Demon, and lastly on the Zeus, gonna be JR, who played Lion last game.
So Erudite, last time around, they managed to also similarly wrap around into the enemy jungle, get 2 kills like that. This time around, only getting 1 bounty runes though, 1 for the Tinker, 1 for the Puck, so 1 each. So a little bit of a better start for Ivy. Still not a great one by any means, but at least they don't lose a secondary hero and don't give away the secondary bounty rune on top of that. But
Yeah.
Axe up against a dual lane of Spirit Breaker Warlock here. I mean, a dual lane I don't think I've ever seen. But then again, it's not like I've seen Ivy's tri-lane either.
Yeah. It's alright though. I think basically what they're doing at this point is they're trying to share around the EXP, because if you look at Erudite's lineup, all these heroes need levels. Every single one of them. They don't have anything like a Crystal Maiden who just needs a couple of levels to really become effective. No, they all pretty much hit their peaks at level 6 and they have their ultimates available. And, well, I guess you could say the same for Ivy, except for the Tinker, who depends on whether or not he gets those fast booster travels. If he doesn't get it fast, then there's probably no point in actually getting that rearm at all until he gets those bots. But is he doing okay in that mid lane? He's actually struggling up against that Puck, who is sitting on 10 CS compared to 3 of our Tinker here.
Yeah, Puck starting with the Null Talisman has a slight just last hit advantage. A slightly better attack animation, I think, as well. There was a disruption bottom lane, but nothing came of it. The Shadow Demon himself was forced to run away, so... Oh, he might still go down. Oh god. Fatal Bonds, too strong.
Too OP.
So, another situation where Erudite are 2-0 ahead. Last hit wise, once again, all lanes are looking nice. I mean, top lane Nyx Assassin does have 8 last hits, so not bad at all, considering he's up against the dual lane for now. Necrophos has 9 himself.
We have a charge. They're going on to JR on the Zeus, and he is by himself. There's no one nearby. Can they get the kill on him? He's really, really squishy. They're going to throw the... That's not really a heal. That is a very painful Shadow Word, and will he be able to survive through this? I don't think... There's actually one creep there. Can he survive through this one creep?
He probably will be able to, with the help of the Tango at least. Maybe even without the Tango will survive with like 10 HP or so. So it does make it out, but even so, he's highly likely to have to go all the way back home. The one nice thing about this is though that Axe can go into the jungle. He's trying to stack and farm that one up at the moment. It's just gonna allow them to get a little bit more XP than they otherwise would have. I think they liked or would have liked for the Axe to get a little bit more farm, get like Tranquil Boot before fully going into the jungle, but they're gonna just have to make do with what they've got.
Yeah, I think getting levels on JR is going to be pretty nice as well, because he is going to start hurting, especially once he starts putting levels into whether it be Arc Lightning or I'm pretty sure it's going to be Lightning Bolt, because it's more cost efficient damage compared to the amount of mana it actually costs. But I kind of like this actually from IV, just to give their support some levels, because typically in a tri-lane the supports are extremely under-leveled. The only way they can actually get levels is if they have jungling abilities or if they're going to have to roam around and grab kills. And oh, Clarity cancelled that by T-Lixer on JR. JR's a little bit sad about that. He was running away from it, but unfortunately not fast enough even with boots.
Well, he has one more, so he did come into the lane with 4, I do believe, and there's even one on the Shadow Demon if really necessary as top lane. GG Liao will go in, drag the creeper away from the double pull that Lobby managed to pull off on the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor also level 3 already, 4 minutes in for his support, not too bad. He hasn't been taking away too much from a Necrophos either, just because most of the XP is just from pulls. That's like, as an offlaner, you almost always need to have the pull blocked, but GG Liao, he's getting charged Spirit Breaker. Is he gonna just go through with this? I guess he has an Invis rune as well if he wants to back off. Will cancel the healing cell, paralyzing cast, will bounce to the range creep, and, well, back to the melee creeps. Lado still in the Invis and will just escape. That's... What a sneaky charge.
Oh my goodness, he even gave a little bit of a chuckle there too in team chat. Oh man. But yeah, Lei, he's just pretty much being a threat on the map. If anyone oversteps their boundaries, he is going to go for the charge, and that's pretty much a chance for Erudite to get kills. This is the advantage of picking up a Spirit Breaker. You always have to be worried about the charge.
One more attack. You might not even need the attack. Yeah, just last word is enough. T-Lixer has the face boots as well, so he's of course faster than the Zeus is. How do Erudite do this, man? Axe though is getting some pretty decent farm in the jungle, so that's nice, but they're still winning every other lane. I mean, Tinker, he's 7-0. How the freaking hell?
That is very unfortunate, especially when you're running a Tinker as well. These boots of travels, I don't see them coming for maybe up until the 15 to 20 minute mark, depending on whether or not he can actually get the farm. And he's gone for the March build as well, so I'm surprised that he hasn't actually gotten that much CS. He's really struggling up against Tempest. Tempest up to 18 denies against this Tinker. So Fitzberg, I see a couple of tears running down his cheek. I think the supports are going to have to start stacking the jungle for him just to actually get those boots of travels at a decent timing, because late Boots of Travels on a Tinker, he doesn't really provide much for your team. Especially with the March build as well.
Yeah, it's not only that, I mean, even if they stack, it's probably gonna be Axe just stealing everything anyway. Because Axe also wants to get that Blink Dagger, and the funny thing is, nobody's even just harassing the lane. It's Warlock solo for a pretty long time by now. I mean, he's been rotating around as the Spirit Breaker, and they're completely unable to punish this Warlock, who is level 6 already. Might even just drop the Golem for this. They see Monk, I think, farming up. They're even gonna have Tempo coming in on the puck, so Fitzberg, he's gonna lose his life. There's the Golem coming out. Monk gets caught. The Satyr even helps out with the Shockwave a little bit, so they're gonna get most of the camp also. Just an absolute disaster for IV again.
Yeah, Axe actually used the Berserker's Call in the jungle to tank up the creep damage, so it wasn't actually there for the engagement, unfortunately. So a little bit of a bad timing there for Axe, but they should have seen that gank coming. They had an Observer Ward here. So they should have seen everything coming, but maybe Axe was a little bit tunnel visioned in the jungle, thinking, oh, this creep stack's so tasty, I'm going to try and finish it off. But Nyx getting a solo kill actually on the Witch Doctor, so bit of a perk there for Ivy just to get one kill at least on one of their cores. So at least Nyx is doing okay.
Yeah, Nyx probably is doing the best even, although Axe has more last hits. Lots of them are jungle creeps, so it doesn't mean that much as well. GG now. Another charge coming onto him this time around. We also have that Greater Bash, 1 point into that one. But Necrophos so low on mana, does have just enough for the Reaper Scythe, though they need way more damage before that. Spike Carapace buys a little time, Reaper Scythe is there, and it's not gonna get the kill itself, but the kill is there in the end anyway. Necrophos, whether it was with a attack, maybe just Heartstopper or got the last tick, but a kill is there anyway. Get some pretty nice regeneration from that Sadist, of course. So 6-1 Erudite. Their lineup maybe not as scary though as in game number 1, possibly because they don't have like a Medusa or Slark to just super carry them late game.
Yeah, and actually there is going to be a charge in the mid lane. Who are they going after? They're going after Fitzberg, but they're going to cancel it once Lei runs past the tower. So that's pretty much about it. Lei hasn't really got that much regeneration, so he's got to be very careful when trying to dive for some of these kills. But a lot of the times his team's been there, so... Oh, did I try and go for it?
They will finally get the kill on Warlock. It was easy disruption into Berserker's Call as oh, GG Leo wants to go for lobby again. Oh, poor Witch Doctor. There's just no chance. Mana Burn does get the kill there. Necrophos can literally do nothing to help unless it's exactly next to the Witch Doctor so that the Death Pulse will almost immediately heal him.
I think there was a bit of miscommunication here from Erudite. They've got 2 Observer Wards in the lane, or maybe they just wanted to put one down before this one's expired. But this one's got probably maybe 30 seconds left.
Yeah, it's about a minute, a little bit less now.
Yeah, bit of a ward party up here, so at least Erudite have some vision up there, I suppose.
Witch Doctor probably was like, yeah, I don't want to come back to the top lane for quite some time, so I'm just gonna place it now and go roam around. Of course, did get picked off, so roaming around for him is gonna be natural as T-Elixir. In some trouble again, Berserker's Call will catch him. So Warlock, he had a pretty great start now, though, slowing down, and looks like he's even going for a Necro Book, possibly with the... Oh, Blink Silence comes in onto 2. Will we use a Dream Coil? Nope, not yet at least. Maybe onto YFK. Disruption comes out. Berserker's Call might follow if he wants to come close enough, but Lobby, he's around, and Hong, well, he's royally screwed. Getting charged as well, no way to TP out there. He was getting quite a bit of gold, but now he's going to lose his life. Is tanky with the Berserker's Call, but not tanky enough.
Yeah, luckily for him, the 2 supports, they weren't actually low enough to die from the damage that he was outputting from the Fatal Bonds there, so... JR and YFK here just going to be able to walk back home if they really want to. Actually, Shadow Demon can stay in lane. He's got quite a bit of mana left. And actually, there is going to be a charge in the mid lane again onto Fitzberg. Oh, there's Tinker. He's up to 1.3k gold though, so it's not too bad. So we should be expecting these Boots of Travels at somewhere around the 15-minute mark, as long as he doesn't die. If he dies, that's probably going to delay him by about a minute or 2. And every minute counts, especially on these Boots of Travels.
I mean, although if you look at the kill board, it's like 4-7. It's still just a pure last hit lead as well for Erudite for the most part. XP though, only a 1k lead, what used to be 3.5. It's just a Warlock kills really, but another charge coming into the bottom with no Spike Carapace. JR gets hit. Not enough mana for the ultimate either. They even dropped the Warlock Golem for it. They need to get some kills for this commitment, and well, they will with the help of Paralyzing Cask. Lei drops low, gets the Nether Strike and the Death Ward. JR just can't get enough spells off. If only he had the mana for the Thunder God's Wrath.
Yeah, if they were actually a little bit further apart, the cask would not have bounced. But unfortunately, I think it just clipped them on the edge because that was pretty far for casks.
Yeah, it might have been maybe a little bit lucky from that Witch Doctor, but even without the bouncing of it, might have gotten the kill. Maybe they lost the Spirit Breaker there, but Even so, Erudite just showing some dominance once again, using the golem like that, but is this Warlock really going for a Necro this game? I guess they do need some additional pushing power, but...
Yeah, I don't mind it. They are ahead, so they say, hey, we're ahead, why not get further ahead and just go for some pushing, like pushability just so that they can get some tower gold, because tower gold at this stage for them, it's pretty much a luxury. But I'm looking at the item graph here for Erudite. Sorry, not Erudite, for Ivy, and I don't see anything on these heroes except for Arcane Boots on our Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, there's just no item progression, but they get the disruption after the kill on the Warlock, but the charge comes in, lands on 2 even. Nether Strike still on cooldown though. With the burst of Zeus, they get an easy kill. Impale even landed on 2, and that's 1 kill. They're gonna chase down Lei as well, another down, quite possibly for the Axe. That's just 4 heroes down, and Erudite, they just stuck around for too long, although Tempo comes in, gets 1 in return. Can they possibly get more? Don't think so. GG now breaks the Dream Coil, but they're gonna get the kill if anybody had mana, which they don't. They might get the courier though. Monk has the Culling Blade if he's going to get close enough, which looks like he's not. So blink out, even goes for a right click before. And inside Elixir, if he gets a Shadow Word, it is level 3, so I don't think it would be enough anyway. And Monk just TP's out.
Yeah, so he's fine, but not the same here for Zeus. He is going to die to the creeps, unfortunately. So JR, he's just going to have to struggle a little bit, and he is going to be resting in his grave now. Oh, goodness. Not looking too good, but that fight down bottom, though, for Ivy, they got quite a few kills. They got 3 chops for the Axe, so Axe getting quite a bit of gold. He actually finished off his Blink Dagger with that as well. So they now have some initiation potential with this Axe and his Blink Dagger. So this might be the chance for Ivy to finally get their own kills, because if you take a look at how the game's been going so far, Erudite, they have been dictating the flow of the game. I've seen no, you could say no kills coming out from Ivy that they've set up, but mostly counter kills. So hopefully they can get something with Mong, because Axe, he is very strong. This is probably at the point where he is at his strongest up until Erudite start to really tank up.
Pittsburgh though, he's in some trouble now. The Illusion will miss, but with the Nether Strike and the Waning Rift, a few more attacks, even the Death Ward spent for that one, but it does make Zeus back off and Necrophos. He has the mech to heal his teammates, has the Reaper Cypher, is he gonna even need it? Golem comes out, YFK on the run now. From the backlines, Monk gets the Berserker Skull, but it's not nearly enough. 3 heroes down, they're gonna lose a 4th. And well, Erudite, they just got some revenge, as they will make it a just full-on team wipe.
Oh, Ivy, it looked good for a while, and then all of a sudden they lose all their entire team, and they don't get anybody. There's just so much sustain on the side of Erudite that if Ivy get anybody low, they either have to burst them down, or they just have to leave them, because there's a very low chance for getting these kills. And Tinker has just picked up the Boots of Travel, so he is going to be able to start TPing around the map, but he is still a very easy target. Oh, he's actually going to be charged here and actually going to be cancelling that out with JR's Lightning Bolt. Actually, ultimately going to finish him off. So Zeus getting killed on the Spirit Breaker Puck. He is able to get out. He is pretty low though, 180 HP, and he's fine. JR though, slowed up by the upheaval, and the Golem chasing after him. Can he get away? He will be able to. The Golem's going to expire before he gets to JR. So 1 for 1. Not too bad. 400 gold, I suppose, going to the Zeus with that, but it's just a support Zeus. He's not getting any core items, I suppose, so it's not bad, but it's not good.
Yeah, it's been losing the Spirit Breaker not horrible for Erudite either, especially because there is a level 2 Necrobook now for Warlock because of that. Level 2 Golem as well for the next fight. Puck, though, also has himself a Staff of Wizardry in the inventory. Is this a Yule Scepter that most Pucks go for, or is this a Dagon for himself? Maybe a 4-staff, maybe a Necrobook also?
I want to say Yule Scepter just so that he can be a little bit mobile, or if he wants to, he can actually use the Axe into the air. That's very annoying for Axes if you just use him into the air and he can't really do anything with the... Oh my goodness, the Cole. But actually, never mind. Cole coming in, actually, they get the Puck kill. Witch Doctor Ward bouncing between all these heroes. Pittsburgh, he is actually the target, but he was able to survive for a lot of it. He's being bashed up, though, by Lei. Can he actually get another bash? He won't. Can be finished up by the Mana Burn. 3 heroes down for Erudite. They only get a Shadow Demon. Oh, Ivy. They're going to be happy with that. They get a core as well as 2 supports. And how much gold do they get? 2k out of those 3 kills.
Yeah, lots of XP on top of that as well, which means suddenly level 2 Impale is there for them. Zeus, not quite level 11 for the level 2 Thunder God draft, but at least getting a little bit closer to that one. So Erudite, it's just making slight mistakes, going a little bit too deep for that one, or maybe Puck should have initiated a little bit later, just to see how much like help Ivy can bring in with a moment's notice almost. But GGL also has a blink, so they at least have double blinks to just initiate, counter-initiate for IV. Tinker probably working on his own blink as well, I would assume. So things are not looking all that bad. I mean, Erudite, the way things started, the way they more or less won every single lane, they should have a bigger lead by now, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just been on the back of some of these bad team fights for Erudite that Ivy, they're not that far behind, so they still do have a chance. They just need to really work on their initiation because a lot of the times Erudite, they've been starting the initiations, and the only times that Ivy have actually been able to get these kills is when Erudite try and go for these split kills. So they'll get 3 heroes, try and go for kills with those heroes while, for example, Necrophos is up top farming and maybe even the the Warlock is farming in another lane, and they get picked off because Ivy, they bring their entire team because they realize we are really far behind. If anyone gets jumped on, everyone go and help him because there is a chance that we are going to get some kills out of this. And they're getting gold, they're getting kills. So they're hanging in there, but how long can they hang in? How long can they hang on for? Because at the moment they're creating space here for Fitzberg, and he is starting to farm up these lanes. So soon he is going to start getting the Blink Dagger, getting the Dagon, and that's when Erudite, they have to be very careful, and they might even have to start focusing him down. And actually there is going to be a nice impale. They're coming up from there. Can they finish up T-Lix? So never mind, he's able to throw the ultimate down. So that's going to be the Golem on the field, and Witch Doctor Wood going to keep on hitting between these heroes. They do finish off the Axe with the Reaper's Sight, so he's down as well as the next assassin Tinker. He went in there and he died as well, but he does get a kill on the Spirit Breaker. They lose their Warlock though during that fight, and actually Labby dropping low. Puck dies to the Tinker actually just because of the march.
So in the end, not that bad fight at all for Ivy, and Necrophos wants to keep on going out to the Zeus. Zeus is just gonna outrun the Necrophos because Necrophos no Rod of Aethos for him to slow them down. I mean, it looked like a decent initiation getting the Warlock, but unable to kill him off. I do believe Thunderguard's Wrath was used just a second too late, but it was all thanks to Puck. He completely messed up the follow-up for Ivy. He blinked in, got the Waning Rift, Dream Coil onto 3 heroes. So just that silence delayed out the Thunderguard's Wrath, which meant that Warlock got that extra 1 or 2 seconds of lifetime for getting the Golem as well as the Fatal Bonds off. But Warlock's still dying, so no Necro level 3 quite yet. Puck just staying around the march of the machines for a little bit too long. So not that bad for Ivy. I mean, in a 5-on-5 fight, I kind of expected Erudite to crash it, to be honest, with the ultimates that they have, but not the case.
Yeah, it's not the case. Although, because there was a little bit of an advantage to Erudite, just because the Necrophos survived. Ivy, they lost all 3 cores, and the only 2 heroes that survived that was the Shadow Demon and the Zeus. So, not core heroes, they're not building towards those really big items, they are just supports. So if it was something like maybe the Axe, the Nyx Assassin, or maybe even the Tinker that survived during that, it might have been a lot better there for Ivy because they would have had a much better gold income from those fights. But Tinker sitting on 2k gold. So he is going to get close to that Blink Dagger. Let's hope he finishes it.
What's even like the follow-up item build for the Tinker this game? Do you also like build the Yules or something? Or Bloodstone, Dagon, V-Blade?
Well, it's hard to say this game. If he can get the farm, I would probably still go for Dagon just so that he can actually have a little bit of team fight contribution, because aside from the March and the Rockets, Tinker's very squishy. He doesn't want to hang around too long, so just going for the burst-oriented build, I would like that. Yules, he would only pick that up if he felt that he was being chased constantly by Erudite, which hasn't really been the case. Erudite, they've been focusing more on team fights rather than focusing down the Tinker. Lately, they kind of left him alone, realizing that, hey, he's not really a problem aside from the March, so as long as we don't fight in the March, we're fine. But he is going to be a problem now, and we'll see if they respond to the Tinker or if they're going to continue on doing what they are.
Oh, Dream Coil comes out though. They want to go for the fight, but the Golem's still on cooldown for a couple of extra seconds. Nether Strike used onto YFK with that Reaper Scythe. They get an easy kill, but can they get some more? Warlock Golem lands on only Monk for now. GG Liao just blinks out. They do get the kill on the Zeus, but it's only 2 supports. Fitzberg comes in into the trees. There's no blinks to really find him now. So that's Erudite using most of their ultimates, and killing 2 supports is nice, but they need a little bit more, and the tier 2 might be that extra for them.
Yeah, it's going to be glyphed though from IV. Are they going to make it the defense? Fitzberg going to blink forward, going to go for the March as well, just to slow down the push, but I'm pretty sure the tower is actually going to die by the time the creep wave is killed. The Golem very tanky, so he can tank quite a bit of the March damage. And Erudite, they don't really want to take the damage because a lot of their heroes, actually, we do have the Nyx lurking around, but actually the Silent's not going to connect. They do charge into him. There's no vision. Never mind. They have the dust popped. Now they're going to pop the Spike Carapace. Just going to stun temporary for a little bit, and actually the Berserker Call not going to connect onto anybody. I think the Axe. I don't know if the Axe misclicked that and wanted to blink first and go for the call, but he just called in the same spot.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. Would have been, I think the Necrof was getting caught like that and not too much health, not too much mana left. Would have been an easy kill, or should have been an easy kill at least. So Erudite, back off. I guess they didn't really want to get the tower into the deny range and then having to back off. I mean, going into Marching Machines is extremely annoying for sure. So for Erudite in the future, also maybe slightly better micro from the Warlock, because he had that Necro Warrior tank up the tower, or actually would have had the Golem do so a little bit tankier, has a pretty massive health regeneration as well. There was even at least one normal creep there, which they could have just gotten the aggro onto, to be honest.
Yeah.
And in general, they really need to kill the Tinker before they can really push afterwards.
Yeah, this Tinker though, he's getting that space, and Fitzberg, he is going to become relevant soon. So hopefully this Tinker actually is able to turn some of these fights around, because the beauty of Tinker is if he goes for the burst build, he can just burst any of these heroes down on the side of Erudite. They're all actually relatively squishy. Actually, the tankiest hero on this side is Warlock, who's only sitting at 1.5, so not incredibly tanky. So when we start seeing this the Blink Dagger Dagon combo coming out from our Tinker, it's going to be scary. They're going to have to actually start focusing him down, or they're going to have to pick his team apart so that he's the only one left. They're going to have to do something to pretty much make either Fitzberg either feel scared to blink in and try and go for those marches, or try and kill him off and maybe render him useless for his team. Because if he's not there, there's not that much damage source aside from the Zeus, I suppose, coming up from IV.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit hard afterwards. Maybe maxed out mana burn from Nyx Assassin can do quite a bit as well. That is, if you can stay there for long enough to get multiple instances of that spell. Just because 929 HP, not all that much, and Erudite, they do have that Hood's Defiance as a Spirit Breaker, so Pipe in the making. Pipe is definitely a nice way to try to deal with both the Zeus as well as the March.
Yeah, that Pipe is going to play a crucial role. The only issue is picking it up on a Spirit Breaker. He is a very slow farmer, so you can't actually expect that to be coming up soon unless they go for a very nice team fight, which we may see soon. Ivy, though, they are retreating for the moment, so I think they tried to go for a quick pick, didn't manage to get the call, and they're just going to back off.
So Yule Scepter finally finished on the puck. Not the fastest farm at the moment, but they've really been focusing on kills. Oh, Blink, Waning Rift, Dream Coil was used, but Yule Scepter on JR just saves him for now. Stun into the puck, he's just gonna go down the charge, buys a little bit of time from late. They have the Golem dropping as well, hits everybody, the Death Ward Monk drops low, Reaper Scythe to secure the kill and get that bonus duration. Of course, Aghanim's means that no buyback even if he had it. GG now, the Dust, they did see him. Pittsburgh might be a juicier target if they can get that one, somehow slow him down. They really need like a Rod of Aether or something, but the charge, it might just be what they're looking for. Nope, Impale comes in, but did that just kill the Necro Warrior and he got the pure damage from it?
Oh no, Nyx Assassin. Ah, Ivy. They just need a... Oh, actually, they're going to go into Fitzberg here. Can they get the kill? They don't really have any more damage sources. There's a stun coming out from the Witch Doctor, and can they get him? They're going to throw the rockets. He will be able to survive. He's going to run back to base. There's no Fatal Bond targets to actually take him down to 0. So luckily for him, he's back in base. He's going to heal up a bit.
So
can they find anything?
I don't think they're gonna force the issue. They just don't have the ultimates to fight, whereas Ivy still had the Thunderguard Raft, didn't even manage to use it at all. The initiation felt a little bit weird from Erudite, to be honest. It was definitely forced, and Puck didn't get the perfect jump onto that Zeus anyway. Dream Coil was completely whiffed, but even then, great Golem landing onto 4 Death Ward from the high ground as well, completely forcing the Axe out of the equation. Axe is trying to go for the BKB, but even the BKB doesn't really guarantee your safety against the Death Ward. Warlock Golem still stuns you through it as well. Spirit Breaker can still bash you, for example. At least, I guess you don't take damage from the Reaper Scythe, so that's nice.
Yeah, well, the nicer thing is actually this middle T3 tower has actually taken minimal damage. So Erudite, they haven't really had a chance to push even with a lot of these kills, because they just don't have that much pushing potential aside from the Necrobook as well as the Golem. And this is good news for IV. It's dragging the game, it's giving space to the Tinker, and if he snowballs to a point, where Erudite can't actually catch up to him, or they can't survive through the burst. This might be what they need because, yeah, squishy lineup. They do have quite a bit of disable though, so if they can actually lock him down and Reaper Scythe, then that's pretty much going to be the end of Tinker. And actually, can they get the kill onto the puck? Quick pick off, nice pick there for Ivy, getting that puck's head. Let's see how much gold they got. 800.
They've tried to go for like a pick off in the mid lane for so many times now. Usually they were just a hair width away from that jump onto the Warlock at least 2 times in a row. Now they do find it though. Fatal Bonds does come out, so Monk, his Blink Dagger is going to be disabled for quite some time as the creeps take damage. So this tier 1 should be safe for now, but this Tinker has himself a point booster. Is it the Bloodstone, or I'm still hoping for one, but I almost never see it, or pretty much never see it. An Aghanim Scepter.
I guess Ags just feels very situational because Ags is such a big investment because it's 4.2k gold, and you can get so many other items that pretty much do better. I hope it's not a... Oh, it's a Bloodstone!
Lame. Give me the quad rockets.
I thought it might just be a casual point booster to just tank him up a little bit and then go for a more utility-based item, or even go for the Dagon for some burst, but Bloodstone, I don't know. I guess it reduces his death timer, and it's going to help against the Necrophage ultimate. I guess you could say Bloodstone is a kind of counter to Necro's ultimate, Reaper Scythe, or actually does it cancel out the effect? I think it should work through it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to reduce the death timer by the amount of seconds, but you get plus 30 anyways. Pittsburgh, he gets charged, but he's still in the trees. Oh, Nether Strike. They did have vision of him, and Pittsburgh, no TP anymore. Oh, he just runs out of the trees. Well, he might just be fine. And gets to blink into the trees. Are you kidding me? Waning Rift randomly, it's still on cooldown. Another blink after a rearm. Pittsburgh makes it out alive. Soul booster health value right there.
The soul booster really helped him. If he didn't have that, he would have definitely been dead. So actually, he's going to TP into the creep wave anyway. Zeus is actually nearby. Even Axe as well. They're going to get the kill onto Lei. Poor Spirit Breaker. 4v1. Unfair.
He did at least have the pipe finished up beforehand, so if he respawns, they can even just go and fight. Although we have a Necrobook there. One of them just gets Calling Bladed down, so they will back off for now. GG now, a little bit low on health, but Necrobook on cooldown. One of them got farmed up for easy just gold and XP. Tinker gets his Bloodstone finished. It's just a matter of now how much is he going to be able to start just gaining charges, or if he's going to lose them straight out. But
yeah,
if you get Necro ulted, there's the stun first, but the damage doesn't come straight during the stun, I believe. So can you, in theory, suicide yourself away from it?
I'm pretty sure you're stunned up, so you should not be able to use items. Otherwise, that'd be unfair because you could just heal yourself. But I don't think you should be able to. I'm pretty sure that you're unable to use items when you are stunned up. So, but the good thing is that he is able to come back a little bit faster because of those Bloodstone charges.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a huge factor in this, especially if you die when you're like level 25. 100-second death timer. If you die to Necrophos, it's like 130. But to negate that, you're going to need pretty much 30 charges. A little bit more even.
30 charges.
33 charges for an instant respawn, and no worries, guys. At least when you're level 25.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the 30, even 40, 50-second death time is actually not that bad, especially when you're going up into the 40, 50-minute games, because you come back that's pretty quick. It just sounds long, but it's actually not as long as you think it would be. But actually, there is going to be a Yule's thrown out onto the Tinker, and he's just going to run out of the trees. He's not actually stuck in there, and oh my goodness, Puck taking tons of damage there from the March, and actually they're going to pop a Golem onto Mong. He's popped his BKB though. Actually, there's going to be the Dream Coil connecting onto the Tinker. He's actually thrown into the Disruption, so he's actually okay. Never mind. He's going to break the coil. Bit of a mistake there from Pittsburgh. There is going to be the Scythe of that Scythe. Not going to finish him off though, so that's not going to be a kill. I don't know what to say for that one, but they're going to get the Shadow Demon kill anyway. Warlock did die during the engagement as well, so Nick's getting the mega kill streak. JR trying to run for his life. He's pretty fast with the Yule Scepter there, and actually Silence not going to connect. JR, he's definitely dead. No way for him to actually get out of there. Never mind. Yule's into the air. Wait for it. Monster kill. But yeah, interestingly enough, Tinker, he wasn't actually finished up with the Reaper's Scythe there, so he's going to come back very quickly.
Well, still losing Blastone charges though, so down to 5.
Yeah.
And if it just keeps on going like this, Blastone is going to have almost 0 value for him. But nice fight for Erudite. The start was a little bit wonky, but you could just see the amount of heals that they have to sustain through the fight that just pulled them through it really. Early on, Axe survived for such a long time, especially when his PKB was still active. But Ivy just not having the really necessary burst to follow up, because Tinker did still get caught rather early on in the fight. They really need so many layers of March of the Machines, or Tinker to really have like a Hex or Dagon or something to also follow up what he already has.
Yeah, he's actually got an ultimate orb. So I guess it is going to be a Scythe of Ice. If this isn't a Scythe of Ice, I have no idea what it could be. It should be a Scythe of Ice.
It probably is Scythe, I hope so at least.
I hope so. He needs to provide some sort of utility for his team or damage, and either or. But if it's a Hex, it's going to be nice. It is going to be able to lock down one of those heroes on the side of Erudite. So if they are in the middle of the team fight, Hex them up. You might be able to burst them down to at least get a kill for yourself. Or if you are able to survive throughout the duration of the fight, keep popping the rearm and you can actually perma-hex them. But he doesn't really have the mana pool at this stage. And Nick's trying to go for a solo kill onto Labby. Not going to work though. He missed the stun, so unfortunately just going to have to blink out. Got to be careful. Might get caught by the puck. And no, he's just going to TP out. He's fine.
Charge though coming towards the bottom side. JR and the Zeus might be in a lot of trouble. No Golem though. Has the Necrobook. Oh no, the Yule Setter stops the Berserker's Call. JR gets charged, but Monk has his BKB activated. But BKB on Necrophos also. Reaper Scythe gets the kill on Zeus. He's dead for God knows how long. 80 plus seconds. Monk though gets a Berserker's Call. Tries to TP out. Is there anything to cancel it? Yes, the Yule Setter from that Warlock there. And Monk, don't think he's going to be able to escape, especially not with the charge coming in like that. So 2 heroes down. Puck wanted to go for more, but Spike Carapace buys a little bit of time. Dream Coil up, blinked out. So Dream Coil whips, but should be a tier 2 at the very least for them.
Yeah. Oh, they've been going to pop the Golem for this as well. So easy kill on the Shadow Demon. Can they finish off the Nyx Assassin? He's a little bit tanky. He's just going to go right into the Vendetta follow after the Spike Carapace. So he's going to get out, but oh my goodness, in the jungle. A bit of a misplay there from the Zeus. Throwing up the... Was it the Zeus that used him? I'm pretty sure it was the Zeus Yules on that puck.
Yeah, might have been. Not entirely sure, but... I think so. I'm pretty sure it was, but that was just horrible, to be honest, for their initiation there. GG Leal trying to come in, but gets charged. Of course, they had vision, they had Necrobooks there. So he's in a lot of trouble. Spike Carapace once again to save the day for him at least. But they're losing the tier 3. They need March so badly. I mean, yes, the rockets are nice, but just Death Pulse, Mech comes out. They're fine. Berserk Skull on the spot. This is going to be Rax. I mean, I don't think they can defend it. Even if they team wipe Erudite, Rax should still go down.
Temporary though, gotta be careful, he's got no mana left, just gonna phase out. Let's see if he can actually survive through this or if he can blink out. Not gonna be able to though, so he's just gonna walk out. Can they grab a kill from this though? If they can get a little counter kill, it's gonna be nice, but at the cost of Rax. And actually Monk trying to run away, gonna be hit by the Reaper's Scythe. Is gonna be affected by that Scythe, so no buyback available. Stun, they're gonna connect on T-Lixer as well as the Dagon. Can they finish him off? They do finish off that Warlock, so they got 1 kill. Pittsburgh gonna go forward, trying to go for another kill, gonna throw the laser onto Lei. And he's actually out of mana, so there's going to be 1 more rocket, but there no more kills from them, unfortunately. The heal going onto the Witch Doctor, able to survive through that second rocket. If he didn't actually heal himself up there, he would have been a definite kill. And actually, Liao going to try and go for a kill onto Lei. He's still running away. There is a blink available, so they're trying to find him. There's actually going to be... Oh, that was interesting. He was into the air. Can they get him? No mana on him, so no chance for charging. He's very fast though, 375. 4-star forward will be JR. He's got quite a bit of mana left. He actually can use the Thunder God's Wrath if he really wants to, if they can't catch up to him. Actually, that's not enough damage.
Pipe value right there, Arc Lighting. Oh, finally, Lightning Bolt. JR, he pretty much had to use his entire mana pool to just keep on going. Of course, without the Yule Scepter movement speed, Zeus probably would not have been even fast enough to get that one. But they had to waste quite a bit of time in there and challenge JR. Look at the creep wave that's chasing him. They're gonna have Dream Coil come in as well, and Zeus has to tank up the creep wave and just dies to the creeps.
Yeah, the Nyx just left. Just left the poor Zeus by himself.
Look at Lobby though, still sitting in the trees there hiding. And Tinker, oh god, Yule Sceptered up. Do they have some stuns? Necrobook comes out, Tinker completely out of mana. Yule Scepter to stop his TP. Waning Rift was there as well, and well, committed suicide still. Blast on charge is down to only 3.
This is the issue when you go for a Bloodstain. If you're not accumulating kills and gating those charges, it feels like Bloodstain becomes a pretty much redundant item aside from the extra HP and mana it gives you. And when it comes to that point, it's just not worth it. You could have gone for so many other items that wouldn't have such a side effect. But I think he had to take a chance. He had to take a chance. He He bought the Bloodstone. He can suicide now though, so if he is worried about getting Reaper's Scythe, then he probably could suicide himself if he has to before the Reaper's Scythe hits. If it hits him anyway, it's GG anyway for him. But we are going to have a Roshan attempt here from Erudite. Pretty slow because they have a pretty bad Rosh lineup.
Speedbreaker will let this come in to just get some bashes, just mitigate the damage output Roshan does, I guess. Now, it is a little bit faster because they have more heroes present, but Puck has managed to get himself a BKB now as well, which means you can quite easily sit and watch the machines and not care about it at all anymore. And with those BKBs, you can still die, of course, to like the physical damage of counter helix, for example, just some right clicks or whatnot, maybe Vendetta, but BKB is almost like a guaranteed 10-second I will not die ability or item.
Yeah, so the Puck, more survivability. He probably won't be the first target to die this time. If he still is, that's it's a bit unfortunate, but as long as he pulls off his combo, that's pretty much all that Puck has to do. He just needs to throw out all of his spells, and if he dies, it's okay. He pretty much did what he needed to do. He needs to make sure that the Warlock as well as that Necrophage stay alive. Pop the Reaper Scythe onto pretty much anybody. They don't really have to focus it down onto a core just because they are ahead. They haven't been really losing the fights, and Tinker at this stage is not really a threat. He has a Hex though, so he's finished up one big item. Will this change the team fight? We don't know. We'll see how it's going to be executed as Erudite try and push up high ground.
He should be able to do so as well, at least with the Aegis and Necrophos. The blink in though, they want to go for Pittsburgh and they're probably gonna get the kill as well, or are they? Nether Strike is used, nice Berserker Skull, buys a little bit of time, but the Golem comes out onto 3 or 4 heroes. Pittsburgh, well, Reaper Scythe probably is the end of them. They lose the axe, none of the heroes that are dead have buyback. Tinker just can't buy back physically. YFK gonna be the next one getting charged. He goes down, JR, only support alive. Oh, never mind, axe, got enough gold for a buyback. Can he get a kill though? Lay up in the air from the Yule Scepter. Plenty of health left for him, even has a bottle charge. I mean, Rax aren't going down super fast, but they should be able to claim it quite easily.
Yeah, so slowly but surely, Erudite, they are starting to chew through that tower. Now they are going to use the axe into the air. Can they follow up with anything? JR, gotta be very careful. He's still a little bit squishy. Actually gonna try and go for Kyo here. It's very low, 150 HP. They do get him, but he has the Aegis anyway, so it doesn't matter. Tempest, though, very low. Can they pick him off? And he's able to blink out. So Tempest is fine, but they're gonna get Mong. Very easy pick. So Axe, he dies back there, and JR running away for his life here. Is there Reaper Scythe available? Not for another 30 seconds. So JR, he is going to be able to survive for another day. Now YFK, he is back and alive, and Nyx will be soon as well. Melee Racks are going down very slowly. They do get it, and range Racks, a little bit of a different story. Much easier kill.
It's just Erudite. They probably got off to a slightly too good of a start, or rather IV's Tinker for one. He was just too late to get the farm. Nyx Assassin got some pretty nice early farm, but unable to do too much with it. A nice blink impale onto 2 heroes. They get the Warlock. They need to get a little bit more though. Of course, Necrobox should still be out as well, doing some damage. They get Lobby up in the air. Can they get the kill though, JR? They have the Reaper Scythe. They're gonna use it as well for the Zeus. Poor little god. YFK now, he's getting chased down by Lake, getting bullied completely with the charge. With the help of the Necrobox, I think he's gonna be able to get the kill. Nope, the disruption buys a valuable couple of seconds. Necro Warrior just not fast enough with the help of the Force Staff there. So
Tinker in the backline though, he managed to get a kill on the Witch Doctor, so nice little pick there. 1.3k gold going in the way of IV just from those 2 kills. So, very expensive kills really. They lose 2 sets of Raxes, they lose bottom as well as their mid lane. They've only got 1 set left, and that is up top, and pretty much after that, I don't know if they can actually defend Mega Creeps. They don't really have the best defense lineup. I guess Axe is pretty good. Tinker, he's only as good as his mana can last, so as soon as he runs out of mana, he's going to be careful of those creeps, and actually going to try and go for a solo kill onto Tempest. I don't know who went on who, but there's going to be one-on-one at the moment. We are going to get a charge here from our Spirit Breaker. He's coming in very quickly. Blink forward by Tempest. There is a Hex. They're going to be thrown out onto him. He's going to go for a rearm. He does go for the blinks, but still charged. Lay going to top the ultimate, as well as the Dream Coil follow up by Tempest, and suicide there from our Tinker. He's down to 2 Bloodstone charges. Axo, he's a little bit ambitious. He's going to try and go for a kill. There is going to be a Shadow Demon coming up from behind, and they're going to try and go for onto the Puck. I believe he might be able to blink out if he's lucky. He does. So Lay by himself. Is there going to be a chance for him to kill him? Unfortunately not. Actually, there is going to be a disruption. Can they finish off though? Nyx missed the stun. Used into the air. We are getting the Warlock coming in from north. He has the Chaotic Offering up. That's just going to be pretty much it. But Tinker. Oh,
We've
the
seen
Tinker death.
so many times this game where the Access just Berserker Skull gets cancelled. Maybe not cancelled, but gets nullified by something, whether it be like Yule Scepters, even on their own teammates. Now this time around it was the disruption at the same time. Just a little bit unfortunate with the timing of it. But Zeus now, he's about to hit level 16 from this creep wave. Oh god, he might die though. There's no Dream Coil to keep him in place, but with the upheaval it just might be enough. jDL5 comes in, force staff himself out. Thundergod's Wrath, maybe to disable a couple of Blink Daggers, maybe to get vision. But he's still getting pretty close to the daggers. Oh, BKB forward, Necrophos. He wants something and he's going to get jDL5. Nope,
Ooh.
Disruption. The direct counter to the Necrophos. Berserker's Call now as well. Monk, can he stay alive through it though? Necrophos is pretty tanky, and with the Death Ward from the high ground lobby, will secure the kill, I believe. Yes, with the help of Chaotic Offering, at least they will now. If they get the Tinker, this might all be over. Tinker will get Dream Coil. Usurper is there by himself. Never mind, not by himself. Gets thrown up by Erudite. So 4 heroes down. Not one of them have buyback. JR getting pushed into his own base, and they are forced to tap out.
Alright, Punk's just walking into the Ancient and dying there, but GG call coming out from Ivy. Unfortunately, they weren't able to really come back into the game off of some of those, you could say, kills that they managed to capitalize on. Erudite playing extremely well. They kept their advantage. They never really lost it. They did give away a couple of, you could say, easy kills to Ivy, but unfortunately, no chance for them to come back. So Erudite is going to be able to take this series with a 2-0 sweep.
Yeah, so Erudite getting a slightly better standing, sitting on 3 and 7 now, I do believe. Vincitore though, 0 and 10. But Vincitore, they have one more series today. It's going to be up against Burster, who are number 6 at the moment with a 3 and 7 score as well. So they're going to be tied with Erudite after Erudite's this win here. But Vincitore, man, it's been a tough day already for them. We'll see if they can somewhat better it in the next series, which is going to start in about 25 minutes time. 16 CT, 23 SGT. So don't go anywhere, guys. Stay around because we're going to be back in about 25 minutes with the next series. And as always, thank you for watching. And Danny, any last words?
Not really. Just hopefully you guys stick around and come and watch us for the next game.
Yeah, guys, so see you in 25. Feel free to request some songs if I can find them on Spotify. I can play them. Unless they're absolutely horrible, so don't request horrible songs, guys.
Make sure you request Disney songs. Yeah.
Yeah, they're fine probably, for the most part. But okay then, guys. Just have fun for the next 25 minutes. Go grab something to eat, something to drink, and see you then.